In the north of New Zealand, Goliaths once ruled the canopy. The Kauri. Unique to Aotearoa, they are the oldest trees with hundreds of children and thousands of grandchildren. But something dangerous has come their way. The encounters are not pretty. Many are left scarred, and the only ending for the suffering is death. It feels like fighting a losing battle, but the answer may just be right under our noses, with a little help from theirs. When COVID-19 hit New Zealand's shores in early 2020, many of us coped by spending time in nature. The simple pastime of walking became a national hobby. And if your favourite trails are in the bush of northern New Zealand, you probably have the Kauri to thank. Revered as Tino Hiringa, it is a precious mooring point for things like ferns, orchids, bush lilies. This treetop island then becomes home to the lively children of Papatuanuku. Trouble comes when something less than ideal wants to be part of the Kauri whānau. So to protect the family, the uninvited guest has to go. It's a job only for the most ballsy.
Mawhai's a German hunting dog, and he's got a really good drive. I always say that a bit like a Jack Russell on steroids. Good boy.
Not many know this, but a dog that plays hard can work just as hard.
Pip is an English Springer Spaniel. Spaniels are generally quite comfortable running around and searching, and so from a very young age we hide food or toys and put them in places where they can't see them, and so you develop their go-to is to use their nose and not their eyes.
Unlike humans with our measly 6 million olfactory receptors, dogs have 300 million to break down each incoming odour. Using their keen sense of smell, around 80 dogs are deployed across New Zealand to protect various wildlife species, be it tracking down the endangered or nosing out pests. But for these dogs, the quarry is not feathered or four-legged. Many mistake it for fungus, but this umaceti is a whole different beast altogether. This is Phytophthora agathodicida. It usually comes in two forms, active zoospores or inert oospores. Here, the zippy ones have one task: find food to multiply. When they do, the swimming stops and the suffering starts. Because every growing inch the microbe makes means a slow death to tissues that keep the tree alive. Infection usually begins at the roots. Over time, dying trees can show symptoms like gum bleeding at the base, yellowing leaves, and a thinning canopy. Just one tiny problem. These signs of sickness are not specific to only Kauri dieback disease. There is only one way to be sure.
At the moment, if you wanted to know whether a tree was infected, you're looking at like a 4 to 6 week process of checking soil samples from the field. But a dog using its nose can give us an instant result. We don't have to wait, we don't have to send things away.
In fact, this process takes just seconds.
train your dog to do what you want it to do. You've got to find what the dog loves the most. You know, it could be a ball, or the dog could be food driven and just wants that treat. So you find the right treat.
Snacking is the best, so Mawhai's always eager to score his choicest treats. A little too eager at times. Dad's okay with it, because at the end of the day, scent detection training's not about looking pretty, nor is it about speed. It's about being accurate.
About 90% of the time, the dogs were able to find what they were supposed to find and do it really effectively.
Now that the dogs have been taught to associate target odour with reward, it's time to raise the game. Because recognising the correct scent and reacting to it is just the beginning. What the dogs have to learn next is track the odour trails of Kauri dieback and trace it back to the killer. Since man's arrival to Aotearoa, blade and saw have reduced the world of Kauri to a shell of its former self, and the disease that is Kauri dieback threatens the remaining 1%. Today, it has reached Waikato, Auckland, and Northland, mostly by hitchhiking with us, under our shoes, walking poles, and alongside our furry friends. The zoospores are not fussy. Dirt tiny as a pinhead is all they need to travel comfortably. So in part 2 of scent detection training, Kieran puts out just one pottle with a wee bit of the Phytophthora. And the hunt begins. Pip can tell the scent is close, very close. But to pinpoint the source, she has to zigzag back and forth, comparing the scent intensity between places to locate the exact spot. For Pip, the chase is just as exciting as the catch.
So I think it's more around making it fun for the dog, and making the dog wanting to do it. Like it might seem would give them a job to do, but at the end of the day, it's probably just like, oh, we're playing in here today.
Fun and games aside, this dynamic setup also serves another purpose. Here, Mawhai learns that the target scent can be inside, behind, or under. It's a great way to help the dogs expand their point of view before they can stand on the front lines of Kauri dieback biosecurity. In fact, what the trainings do in the end is mimic very real-life activities that both dogs will undertake. One of the plans is to have Mawhai and Pip at ports, going through footwear and various items headed to places like Waiheke Island, where there are currently no signs yet of Kauri dieback. At this point, steps taken to stop disease spread are guided by precaution. Mawhai's extremely familiar with the hygiene guidelines. A dog's gotta get scrubbed down and cleaned up before these paws can hit Kauri lands. But whether on or off training grounds, every moment together is always a chance to practice and work with one another as a team.
Can. Stop.
Down. Come. Good boy.
Good girl.
It's a big job preparing for their parts in this kaitiakitanga. But after a year of training, Mawhai and his ball-loving colleague, Pip, become the first of their kind in New Zealand. Certified sniffer dogs, specialised in Kauri dieback detection. Since early 2021, these adorable duo join paws with their human friends in the ongoing fight to protect the last of the forest giants.